You know what they say. Something's got to give. It's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see two teams, each riding a 3-game win streak, as it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New Orleans Saints. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
First carry for Leonard Fournette. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. On first and 10. Conley. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. The big gainer there on the catch and run. 37 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now Leonard Fournette. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Time to check the defensive starters here for Kansas City. They were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The Saints passing game in sync and moving the football. It's a first down. Looking to throw. Conley got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Lutz with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here are the Chiefs now as they get set for their opening drive. As we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
I guess we're going to have to nickname him the thrower, aren't we, or something like that.
After last week?
I mean, man, you're talking about over 400 yards throwing the ball. The running backs and everyone else may be looking at him like, hey, don't forget us. And he'd probably just tell him, listen, you want to get involved? Go out and catch some passes. I'll make sure you touch it.
And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now Mahomes. And he finds his man. That's Sweeney. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. Couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? Five or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive.
Mark 54. Mark 50. 15.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. Now you figure that he'll probably be a big factor in this one as well.
No question about it, partner. We just saw it right there. They want to get him the ball in space and see what he can do after the catch.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Steps away to his left. Now he's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Brandon, lest my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, that's the second time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. Throwing now is Mahomes to the goal line, but it's incomplete. And quickly now, a look at the Kansas City offense.
And a big key is going to be how can these wideouts create separation from the defensive backs, because we've seen some early success in the passing game in this one, and that's going to need to continue.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line.
Switch. Check 24.
They'll try to run this one in. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Forced out to, and he will score. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes. Touchdown number 18 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach or offensive coordinator actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Conley. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards on the catch and run. A first down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. They go play action here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. Past the 20, 10, 5, and they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing comes to...
Oh, we got it. Good job, D. Good job, D.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here. And the Chiefs are going to get him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This will be fielded at the 17. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. On first down, Mahomes. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And all the way down to the 25-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Here we go.
Check 3.
Mahomes now on first down. Flushed out right. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Mahomes now to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 23 yards, the final tally.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Check 3. 25.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. A great effort there. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Fielded about a yard deep. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. I would say they went 3 and out last time, but actually they didn't even get to 3 and out. Still a strange decision to us here in the booth.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go 1 and out, but maybe, possibly, let's try and think with them here. Try and play field position maybe, turn the ball over, put it in the hands of their defense. Who knows?
You're a nice man. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
I know we're just in the second quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his second drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant to the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. Now their last 2 drives both ending in touchdowns. It's got them this 14-7 lead.
And it looks to me, and I think you're probably seeing the exact same thing, they're in an ideal spot now to create some separation. The way that they're functioning on offense now, they can create a pretty good gap. Allows their defense to play with a little more verve and confidence.
A big article in the paper this morning about them stringing possessions together for consecutive touchdowns. Well, right here they're trying to make it 3 in a row.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. Well, I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Mahomes firing complete. 23 yards the pickup there.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action.
Hey, 57, 57.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mahomes being chased out left. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline.
Let's go.
That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Here we go.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Well, once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Right there. 54, right there.
Mahomes going to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That one good for 12 yards and a Kansas City first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Mahomes now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. And again, it's Mahomes. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Let's bring it. Mike's 54. Mike's 54. Not today,
Mahomes to throw once more. Buying time to his left. He'll run it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage?
And now it's blocked. It's picked up, a live ball here, remember. And he gets it past the 30, but not much further than that. And the extra point attempt snuffed down.
I remember when they changed the rule, and there's a lot of consternation, especially coming from the kickers. Okay, how's this going to affect things, having to kick a longer one now? Much more of a field goal attempt, and the defensive guys saw it as an opportunity to get more block.
That's exactly right. There's more effort now. Before, when it was snapped down near the goal line, you would basically see guys just stand there.
Yeah, not anymore. Now, those guys are going after it because not only can they knock it away and change a little bit of momentum,
they can get 2 points.
They can pick it up and take it back for 2 points.
Throwing on first down. Conley, short throw to Disley. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded just inside the 20. So we've reached the intermission. And what? All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Ready for the start of the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here are the Chiefs to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. To throw, it's Mahomes. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. From the gun, it's Mahomes. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone, sometimes you're throwing it between the zones, sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. And it's caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another 1st down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target.
And he's going to take it into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll run it again with Fournette. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 3rd down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run with Fournette. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Let's go. And we got Mike, number 53. Mike 53.
To throw on 2nd down. Conley gets this into the hands of N'Keal Harry. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 35. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 35-yard line. Fournette. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And he's going to have the hook up here with Harry. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. N'Keal Harry, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints get a bit closer. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. An outstanding pickup there for the Chiefs. 51 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 13. And the return will stop right around the 25. Mecole Hardman, the intended target.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
On 1st down, Conley. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the 4th quarter of play. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 44-yard line. Back to throw. Conley, catch is made by Harry. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 10 yards, good for his Saints, 1st down. This quarterback now, 13 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down. On 1st and 10, Conley. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Throwing again. Conley. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
I remember throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a first down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
Looking to throw. Conley. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. From 21 yards away, as his guys are back within a single score. Wow, talk about a big 4th down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it and having that kind of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
And now here comes Kansas City. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. Give him 15 yards on that one. Kansas City has a first down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching in Atlanta, our apologies. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 15 yards on that one. Kansas City has a first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Face mask. Defense.
Boy, tight game like this, 4th quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high. The tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Tyrann Mathieu, normally known for the pass coverage, this time a sack. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. From the 17, Mahomes dancing to his left. Now he'll pull it down, and he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Here's Mahomes to throw, and he will score. Touchdown, Kansas City. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. Can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to, because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Back to throw. Conley, and he'll get that to Fournette, complete. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be a 2nd and long. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Conley, and he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. And he's going to go down. He backed picked up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, this defense has been smothering all game long. Why not give them 2 more points here in the closing minutes?
Well, they've certainly earned it. They've gotten the better of this offensive line for 4 quarters, and this sack here will just be a little icing on the cake.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided.
Yellow. I'll go blue.
54. Focus, defense, focus.
Shoot. Watch the shoot.
Kill, 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 kill.
15.
Interesting, Mahomes wants to throw it. And the catch made by Walters. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later? And
we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. 1 play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait.
Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense, but they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Steps away to his left. He'll try and run it, and he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
All right, T, let's go. All right, T.
Mahomes going to throw it here. Flush to his right. He's going to take off with it. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Hey, Ripley. Kill.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. And to give this time to the tailback. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that. But there are a few folks that might not.
Touchdown, Let's go. Let's do this.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen, because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.